That familiar tightness gripping your chest during stressful moments. You know it, right? That overactive mind, refusing to quiet down at bedtime. That constant worry about tomorrow that steals your today. Imagine discovering one phrase, merely 3 words, capable of melting anxiety instantly upon its arrival. A phrase so powerful that neuroscientists have studied its effects on the brain, and what they discover will change how you deal with stress forever. But before I reveal this phrase, I need you to do something right now. Hit the subscribe button and activate notifications, as what follows might distinguish between perpetual anxiety and authentic mental tranquility. Drawing from aggregated research by global universities and publicly available health education resources from official organizations, we've developed this video to deliver current information specifically tailored for those above 60. Now then, I'd like to ask you something genuine. How much of your life have you spent worrying about things that never happened? How many precious instances have slipped by because your thoughts were imprisoned in a fictional tomorrow or an agonizing yesterday? The fact remains that anxiety doesn't inhabit the current moment. This isn't possible. Anxious feelings constantly revolve around either future scenarios or past experiences. It sustains itself on time frames absent from the present. This is the point where everything transforms. The phrase that obliterates anxiety is simply, I am here now. 3 words, only 9 letters, infinite power. When pronouncing these words with real presence, something incredible happens within your brain. Investigations using fMRI scans establish that present awareness immediately lowers activity in the amygdala, the fear processing region, while concurrently raising activity in the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought and emotion regulation. Though this isn't merely a matter of neurotransmitters. This centers on taking back your life from control of non-existent dangers. Think about it. Right at this second, are you doing okay? Not in future days, not upcoming weeks, not within those early morning mental constructions. At this instant. Generally speaking, the answer is yes. This very second, breath flows through you. At this moment, you're secure. This very second, you contain everything needed for present moment existence. Most individuals above 60 years carry accumulated decades of anxiety. We've seen enough to recognize that adverse situations can arise. We've experienced loss, disappointment, health challenges. And because of this experience, our minds become hypervigilant, constantly scanning for the next threat. Psychologists designate this as anticipatory anxiety, and it's profoundly fatiguing. It resembles racing in a marathon without moving. Your physical system can't distinguish between actual dangers and invented ones. While stressing over tomorrow's health appointment, your pulse rate rises, blood pressure surges, stress chemicals flood through you, precisely as if the danger were happening currently. This ongoing stress not only feels awful, it actually speeds up aging processes and compromises your immune defenses. Something remarkable emerged from Harvard research studies. When people routinely engage in present moment consciousness, their bodies create less cortisol, the chief stress hormone, and more DHEA, commonly known as the anti-aging molecule. Merely by directing your awareness to now, you're genuinely opting for health instead of sickness, calm instead of disorder. Let me present an account that shows this flawlessly. Robert, 72 years of age, lived his days entirely absorbed in worry about his cardiovascular condition. Each morning found him awakening to pulse checking, sensation watching, persuaded each day could be his end. His spouse watched him dissolving into this concerned prison until one afternoon, while sitting in his garden, a butterfly descending onto a nearby flower seized his attention. For just brief moments, his consciousness became fully peaceful. His heart wasn't concerning him. He had no thoughts of the coming day. He was just watching this butterfly, present in that moment. And in that second, he recognized something important. His anxiety wasn't guarding him. It was obstructing his ability to live. From that day forward, whenever anxiety appeared, he would say to himself, I am here now, and bring his attention to something in his immediate environment, an auditory sensation, a bodily feeling, his inhalations and exhalations. Gradually, this modest practice transformed his life more completely than any drug had achieved. Now, I want you to pause this video for just 5 seconds and try this yourself. Articulate verbally, I am here now. Perceive your physical presence in the seat. Feel the air against your skin. Become aware of sounds in your vicinity. Observe how swiftly your anxiety reduces when you authentically arrive in this moment. This doesn't constitute positive thinking or avoidance. This is something much more potent. It's what's real. The present moment is the only moment that actually exists. Everything else is memory or imagination. As you perceive this completely, not just intellectually but viscerally, anxiety's dominance over you ends. You understand you've been distressed about things that literally have no current reality. And prior to continuing, I require your assistance in sharing this message. Leave a comment with either the number 1 if this is making sense to you, or 0 if you're skeptical. Your participation assists this video in reaching people who truly need this information. Now, let's talk about how to use this phrase effectively, especially during intense anxiety. The crucial point isn't wielding it as a tool against anxiety, attempting to push anxiety out. Rather, employ it as a stabilizer, a soft prompt to come back home to now. As you recognize anxiety escalating, pause. Inhale slowly. Say, I am here now, either out loud or silently. Then involve your sensory awareness. What meets your eyes? What sounds reach your ears? What can you feel? This straightforward practice breaks the anxiety pattern before it strengthens. Neuroscience shows us that you can't simultaneously be fully present and fully anxious. They're mutually exclusive states. Presence eliminates anxiety just as light eliminates darkness, not by struggling, but merely by existing there. For us above 60, this practice holds special value because we typically hold not just a day's worries, but also accumulated stress from a lifetime of trials. We could fret about wellness, monetary concerns, our offspring or their children, or becoming dependent. These are real concerns, but worrying about them doesn't solve them. It merely blocks us from treasuring the good experiences still present. Taking action resolves problems. Presence gives us peace. Worry does neither. Here's why this phrase proves so transformative. It takes effect instantly, requires 0 expense, has no negative consequences, and you can employ it any place, anytime. So this is your challenge. Whenever you perceive anxiety forming, implement the phrase, I am here now. State it with mindfulness. Reconnect with your senses. And this is my ask for you right now.